Good morning, children. Today, this is the first chapter, and we have two books in your syllabus. One is Flamingo, another is Vistas. So, today we will go with Flamingo. The very first chapter is named The Last Lesson. Though it appears to be very sarcastic that the first lesson is the last lesson, but it is only the title. The author is Alphonse Daudet. He was a French novelist and a short story writer. First, he was a school teacher, then, he quitted it and became a generalist. Before going to the chapter, I would like to discuss the theme. The theme is here linguistic chauvinism. Now, the question arises, what is linguistic chauvinism? So, linguistic chauvinism, linguistic we know related to language, and chauvinism means love or superior, considering one's language superior. So, the meaning is the strong love for the language or considering one's language superior. In the chapter, we will see that the main character M. Hamel, he had great strong desire for his language. Now it becomes important for us to know the background. If we talk about the background, the chapter was published in 1873, and in the chapter we will see that France was defeated by Prussia and the leader was Bismarck. After the defeat, there were two districts of France, that was Alsace and Lorraine. They passed into the hands of Prussia. Is it clear, children? What I want to tell you, that there was a war between France and Prussia, right? France was defeated by Prussia and the leader was Bismarck, right? And the district of French district Alsace and Lorraine passed into hands of Prussia, means now they were under the command of Prussia. Earlier they were in command of French. So this was the background. Now it becomes important for us to know here the characters. My dear children, there are two main characters. The first one is Franz. Franz, he is a boy of 14 years. He is a naughty boy. He was not interested in studies. Rather, he loved to play. And he was interested in, he wanted to see the bright sunshine. He also wanted to enjoy chirping of birds, and he was also very much interested seeing Prussian soldiers drilling, because as I have told you that there was Prussian army were there and the soldiers used to drill over there. So it was the interest of France to see Prussian soldiers drilling. And the another point I am coming towards, these were the points of his interest, but what he did not like, I am going to talk about that. He was unwilling to go to school. This is the most important point, and we have many a times we have question on it. Why was Franz unwilling to go to school? Why he didn't want to go to school? So, because an example I am going to give you. Suppose I give you that tomorrow I'll take a test of you people, and the students who prepare, they come to school, they are very much willing to come to school. And whereas the children who have not prepared it, either they don't want to come to school, and even if they come, they want to bunk the class. So the reason here I am mentioning, Franz was unwilling to go to school because he was not prepared for the school. He had not prepared participles. Now what is participles? Because his teacher had to take a test and participles, and Franz did not know even a single word about participles. That's why he was not willing to come to school. Now here you see that M. Hamel, one name I have added here. M. Hamel had to take test on participle. Who is M. Hamel? We will be knowing further. M. Hamel is a teacher of French language and he had to take a test on participles. So I hope this is clear. In a nutshell, I would like to explain it. Please take care of it. Franz, he was a boy of 14 years. He was not interested in studies, rather, he was interested in sunshine, chirping of birds, seeing soldiers drilling. And on that day, particularly, he was not willing to go to school because he had not prepared his test on participles. Now, we have here the second character, that is M. Hamel. M. Hamel is the second character and he is a teacher of French language. He is a very strict teacher, like most of the teachers, and he is a true disciplinarian. He had to take test on participles. Before that, I told you that Franz was not interested in coming to school because M. Hamel had to take test. So here we see that M. Hamel had to take test on participles and he was a very strict teacher. The important thing is that he has spent 40 years in the same school and he was a true patriot. And we come to know that he loved his country as well as his language. So we have known about the two characters, Franz and M. Hamel. These are the only characters over here which are important. So now I am coming towards the next point, that is bulletin board. You have heard about the blackboard, and bulletin board is also like a board, and it was in a town hall. As I have told you that it was a war between Prussia and France, and all the news related to war were used to put in the bulletin board. Like today's, we didn't have social media at that time, we didn't have newspaper, we could know about it. So all the news related to war used to come to the bulletin board. When Franz was passing from there, he saw a big crowd and he wanted to stay and to see as usual, but as he was in a hurry because he was getting late to school, so he did not stay over there and he went to school. Now Franz was in a hurry, he reached school. Now what was the situation of the school? So, my dear children, if I ask you, what are the general sounds, what are the general noises which can be heard in a school? First is the opening and closing of desk. Normally, it is the most common sounds which can be heard in a school. Second is when the children read their lessons in unison, together in a chorus. And the another and the last point is teacher's ruler rapping on the table. So these three are the common sounds which can be heard in the school all the day. But on that day, there was not such noise. There was silence all around. The very important thing, there was silence all around. And the schools have silence only on holidays or on Sunday. So it appeared as it is a Sunday morning. It appeared as it is a Sunday morning. So Franz was very much surprised what is happening all around. Even then, because he was in a hurry, he had to take test on participle. So he moved towards his classroom. What is the situation of the classroom? Another thing now. Situation of classroom. He saw that he was late and all his classmates were already there. So he was a little bit nervous. He also saw M. Hamel, and he was having his ruler in his hand. And he noticed one thing which was very special, that M. Hamel was wearing his special dress. M. Hamel wearing his special dress. And what was that special dress? His special dress was, he was wearing green coat. He was wearing green coat. He was wearing frilled shirt and also with silk cap. This was his special dress, which he normally wore on special days like on celebration days, on functions, etc. Second thing that was noticed by France, it was silence all around. In the school it was silence, and in the class also it was silence. And the third and the most important thing that I would like to point here, that the back benches were occupied by villagers. What is meant by it? Normally, school may have silence on any of the days, right? Is M. Hamel used to wear his dress on special days, but one thing that never happened, that all the village people were sitting on the last benches. The question arises, why? Why these people had come to school? Now, postmaster, old Hauser, and many characters were there who were sitting over there, and Franz was surprised most to see it. After knowing about M. Hamel, Franz, now and the situation of the classroom and the school, we are coming towards what M. Hamel really did now. Now here we see that announcement by M. Hamel. What was the announcement made by M. Hamel? So the M. Hamel made an announcement that this was their last lesson. Which lesson is being referred to here? It has been referred to as French letter. Which is the last lesson? The French was the last lesson. Why? An order from Berlin. There was an order which was from Berlin. The order says that only in the school of Alsace and Lorraine, only the teaching of German would be done in place of French. So this is the gist of the chapter. Kindly take note of it, that the order from Berlin had come, that in the school of Alsace and Lorraine there would be no teaching no teaching of French. Instead, German will be taught in the school, and the new master will be coming tomorrow. These words were like thunderclap to Franz. When he heard, he was shocked what to do now. And now he just remembered the bulletin board. I had mentioned you the bulletin board. Now he remembered, oh, perhaps this was the news that was put up on the bulletin board, which he could not see. Now the order, the announcement, what change occurred in France after listening this announcement. He felt sorry for M. Hamel. He suddenly realized the value of his teacher, the value of his school, the value of his language, and developed love for language. Suddenly he realized that this is the most beautiful language, and he was repenting for neglecting the language. Now he realized the reason of backbenchers who were sitting at the class at the end, and also M. Hamel wearing his special dress. I told you that two things were there, that backbenches were occupied by the villagers, and M. Hamel was wearing his special dress. So what was the reason? The backbenchers had come to thank M. Hamel for his 40 years of service. It was in honor to his language, in honor. It was they had come to give respect. They have come to M. Hamel as well as to their language. And M. Hamel had also worn special dress because this was a very special day. Now, the next point is what were the reasons why why these French people neglected their language? Here, M. Hamel makes it clear to the students that only children are not responsible. We cannot hold children that yes, because of you it happened. No, children were not responsible. Parents were equally responsible because the parents preferred them to work and earn. The parents wanted them to go to the field to do the work and to earn. Earning was more important to them than studies. And M. Hamel realized that he himself was to be blamed. He himself was responsible because he used to give children off when he had to go for fishing. When Hamel, Whenever M. Hamel went for fishing, he used to give children an off. So in that way, if the children neglected their language, only they were not responsible, but parents and M. Hamel were equally responsible for it. M. Hamel told the children the importance of the language. He says that it is the most beautiful, clearest, and logical language in the world. He also said that one must respect their language, whatever language they have. They must develop their love. They must develop love for the country, love for the language, and one must have command over language. This is the important point. We have to understand it. What do we have if we have command over language? It means that we are having a key to prison. If a prisoner is kept in prison and he has command over his language, it means he has a key to prison. He may come out of the prison anytime if he knows his language well. Now, at the end, the church clock struck 12, and Prussian soldiers, it was a time for the Prussian soldiers returning from drill. And M. Hamel suddenly stood. He was looking very sad, very dull, and he turned towards the blackboard. He turned towards the blackboard. He could not see the children because there were tears, might be there were tears in his eyes. He moved towards the blackboard and wrote, Vive la France. What he wrote over there? He wrote, Vive la France. It is in French language, meaning long live France. So it shows his patriotism as well as his love for the language. And he could say nothing to the children. He was towards the blackboard. He made a gesture and said, The school is dismissed. He said that the school is dismissed. So I hope with this we have got an idea of the chapter, and the children, now you have to read the whole chapter in detail, because now we have 4 marks question from the text as well. So it means any 2 lines can be given here. From there you have to write the answer.